AITA for snapping at my in-laws for saying my husband ruined his life? Not. I am not Oop. Oop is you, Frosty Nectarine 2635. She posted in our AITA. I fixed a few typos, but the rest is as it was posted. For those of you on mobile, here's your daily dolphin fun fact. Nana and Nellie are the longest living dolphins on record. They lived 42 and 61 years, respectively. Trigger warning. Emotional abuse. Less than. Mood spoiler. Hopeful ending. Less than. Original post. November 23, 2022. Context. My 36F husband, 36 meters, comes from a family of athletes. They put him in boxing as a kid. He was talented and he suffered a lot of pressure from his family. They wanted him to become professional, but my husband never wanted that. In high school, things got worse for him as the school's coaches were brutal and the attention he received from promoters and outside coaches led his family to put more pressure on him. The relationship with his family went south when he informed them he was going to university and giving up boxing for good. Not true, the boxing part. I met him a month before we started high school and we've been together ever since. When he was 30, his family contacted him to try to fix their relationship. Their relationship is decent. The same with me. Now, we took our children on Sunday to visit them. Sil and her husband were talking about one of my nephews learning to play the piano and that he is good for his age. Then Mills said, and I quote, "Be careful. You don't want to encourage him only for him to quit and ruin his life as my husband's name." Quote. It seemed like Mill forgot I was there and they went silent. My husband was out buying some things with his father and his other two Bill. I was calm and asked her how he ruined his life. His sisters got involved and said that's not what Mill meant and I wouldn't understand. I replied, "No, I don't understand. I don't understand why you wanted to live through him. Why you never listened to him. Why you never accepted what he wanted. Why you didn't let him be. Why you think he ruined his life. I don't get it. If you think it's because I don't know how talented he was, you're wrong because I was there. Even when you abandoned him, it wasn't for nothing that he got 2 scholarships and people were after him. I'd understand if he didn't do anything with his life. But that's not the case. He has a degree, an amazing career, built 2 different business, is a great father and husband. He is more successful than all of you combined. Please, tell me how he ruined his life or what part one don't understand." I got silence. I took our children and left. I texted my husband that I was going home. He arrived shortly after and told him what happened and he's not mad. To be honest, this is the first time I heard these types of comments and I pretty much blew the relationship he has with his family and apparently also caused issues with his sister's husbands because they had a different version of why my husband was estranged. Edit, small update. Same post. Same day. I never expected this much attention and sorry for not answering every comment. I will clear some points and give you a small update. First of all, thank you for the kind words and the awards. I reacted on instinct and kind of regretted. But my husband reassured me that it was fine. He would have done the same thing for me. Which I know. He's all smiles every time I see him. I'm sorry for those who went through the same thing. I'm glad you left that horrible situation and that you are doing what you want. Good job. I should have been clearer. Mill says he ruined his life because he wasted the chance to be recognized and famous. Something they always longed for and couldn't achieve on their own. My husband stopped competing once he finished university and not after high school. He had to do it so he could maintain his scholarship. The children weren't present when I exploded. They were outside playing. His sisters lied to their husbands about the reason why my husband was estranged. They put the blame entirely on him and downplayed what they did. Someone linked a story about a couple who is dealing with the after trauma, and it's heartbreaking. Injuries and trauma are two of the many reasons my husband never wanted to make boxing his career. Fortunately, he received minimal damage and sees a specialist once a year to make sure everything is fine. My husband says that over the years he felt something was off. So he's not surprised they haven't changed their opinion of him and that they were just faking it to gain access to our kids. Small update. Same post. November 24, 2022. Early today when we dropped the kids off at school, his sister's husbands were there and wanted to hear my husband version. We went to have breakfast and he told them everything. From their reaction, it was clear that their wives were still downplaying the whole thing. According to one of them, his wife is starting to display the same traits as Mill. So yeah, we agreed to talk on Saturday to plan how we're going to move forward with our children. They go to the same school and are very close. We don't want to disrupt their relationship. As for his parents, we are going to talk to them on Saturday to let them know how their relationship with our children and us is going to be from now on. Thanks to all of you again. Relevant comment. The worst part is that my husband's parents didn't want him to go to university. They wanted him to go pro right after high school. In fact, he was able to go to a pretty nice high school and get good education because the N coach in him tricked his parents. Oop is voted NTA. Update post. December 1st, 2022. Some ask me for an update. So here it is. During the week with talk to our kids and ask them, without being obvious, how they have been treated by their grandparents. We got positive responses. They have been treated well. To be clear, we talked to everyone on Sunday, without the kids. And my husband was the one who did the talking. First it was his parents. They tried to apologize, but my husband cut them short. He said that we weren't there for apologies or explanations, but to talk about their new relationship with us. He told them that we are no longer going to take the kids to their house anymore. They will have 2 visits per month and will be supervised by us. They will be the ones who plan the activities and they have to inform us with enough time so that we can approve them. The only time they will see the kids besides their 2 times is for birthdays and holidays, to keep their opinions of him or me to themselves. As the moment they run their mouths with our kids present, it will be the last time they will see them. And for us, we'll be civil, but that's it. They agreed, and before we left they told us they are separating. To which my husband replied that he doesn't care. The visits and rules are the same regardless of their marital situation. We could split the visits to 1 each, or they could have 2 together. But that's up to them. The visitations will begin after their situation is resolved. Later that day we visited his sisters and their husbands, all gathered in one house. Pretty much the same drill. But he listened to his sister. His sisters apologized and told us that they are going to therapy again. They asked my husband if he was willing to go with them at some point, but he refused. He told them that their relationship is way too broken to mend, that he harbors no ill feeling towards them, and the only thing he will give them is common decency. That it is good that they are going to therapy again and hopes they take it seriously now because their kids and husbands deserve better. With that being said, he proposed that things continue more or less the same. We take our kids to their house or they bring theirs to ours, but with the exceptions of visits from his parents. We explained them the deal with my in-laws, and that my sisters and parents are still willing to maintain the same relationship with the kids, but not so much with them. Any comment from them like the one his mother did and everything will stop. If they have another plan, we could work it out. They all agreed with our plan. For now, everyone is looking to keep things civil for the kids, which I think is a good thing. Anyway, my husband and I draw lines and we will make sure they don't cross them. Relevant comments. Someone asks why the parents are separating. From what we know, it's because he no longer shares the same views that his still wife has about my husband. But it could also be because he is trying to get a better deal from us regarding the kids. Hard to tell right now. More about the sisters. They are 2, 3 and 4 years older than him. The reason why he doesn't want to try therapy with them is because of how they treated him in this situation. When they find out my husband was talented, they resented him. You can change resent with your strongest favorite word a lot because he was good and they weren't shy about it. After a while, they accepted that they would never make it, so they started pretending to be nice to him while pressure him the way their parents did to him. For him right now, they are not really trying to fix their relationship with him but with their husbands. They knew back then that what they were doing was wrong. They had 12 years to be better. These past 6 years, I dare to say they had a friendly relationship. He released his bad feelings towards them a long time ago and he didn't develop any this time. He tried with them but they haven't changed. They were pretending like in the past. Good for the husband. I wonder when the in-laws talked about separation. It's weird that they waited until the end of the conversation and were like, oh, by the way, we're separating. Take a look at this guy. Ruining his life by being happy and successful with no noticeable signs of brain damage. How tragic. Maybe the family didn't know any better back then, but they should be horrified today that they pushed their kid into something so risky when he clearly did not want it. He ruined his life by not having permanent brain damage. My sister is extremely talented in dance. Like, her dance costumes cost as much as a car sometimes. I never resented her. She was a fantastic artist and I was sad when we no longer had the money for her to follow her passion. I don't know if she could have gotten to backup dancer or even Jabberwockies status, but I had hoped she would. That being said, she's just opened a restaurant in Hawaii and has done so much with her life and I'm super proud of her. Hubby's siblings imploded their own marriages for jealousy. It's good he stopped early. CTE is no joke and that could ruin his life. So he quit boxing and they just kicked him out of the family? And that, my friend, is how you set boundaries. Kudos to Op and her husband for standing their ground while ensuring the kids are not involved or less impacted by the adults' businesses. I'd be curious whether his sisters resented the fact that the only boy in the family got so much attention and support. Doesn't justify their behavior as adults. But it's immediately where my mind went to. For some people it's just all about the money. Money, money. OOP's husband found his anchor. I have started to really dislike the word talent. Talent discounts the countless hours of hard work he put into becoming competent at his craft without any real enjoyment. Talent wound up being the word his sisters used as an excuse to not even bother trying. I sympathize with his poor mother. It is so sad when you thought you raised your kids right and then they make reckless life-ruining choices like, going to university. You can do everything right and still get that kid who just wants to pursue a higher education. It's crazy. I don't understand parents that send their kids to boxing. There are so many other options. Don't PPL get really bad concussion all the time from boxing, martial arts, contact sports, etc. in pro? Concussions are no joke. I wonder how much the sisters resented the brother, OP's husband, because he was favored as the only boy and because of how much attention he got. Even if that attention was not positive. Boxing is the absolute worst profession to be in if you like your brain to work properly. Only thing OOP's husband ruined was his chances of his wife having to take care of a vegetable. Damn. This gives me flashbacks. Growing up, I was forced to participate in math competition and other quiz competition. My family comes from a very intellectual background, so you can imagine the amount of pressure I felt. I hated math. Still do. But I'm doing better now. See, Mom. I don't need math. They give scholarships for boxing? I, for one, am extremely happy for this couple. She stood up for her husband 100%, communicated with him clearly and was expecting feedback. He backed up his wife's actions, protected his family, and communicated to his in-laws. They know what their priorities are, and committed to their plan of action. I love the dolphin fact. This smells like the story of a toxic parent. OOP's Mill. The statement about the in-laws pushing their kids to achieve the things they couldn't is very telling. As the black sheep of the family myself, I feel for OOP's husband. The parents even convinced the siblings he was a POS. That's how toxic parenting works. I'm grateful they went low contact and set boundaries. It wouldn't surprise me if Mill didn't take accountability and only saved face so she could keep contact with the grandkids. Supervised visits are a brilliant move. I often worry that my toxic parent will groom my child like they groomed my sibling and family members. Eerily similar story to my own, even down to being the more successful one. But of course, if you're not famous, it doesn't amount to much. Good on OOP to stand up for her husband and protecting their family from the horrible in-laws. ETA. It sucks the OOP questioned if they were the a-hole. Good for the OOP and her husband. It's so hard when your family acts like this. I had to cut mine out completely. There are some things that just don't get better and some hurts that can't be mended. I agree with not going to therapy with them. It won't help. They will blame him and want him to admit it was hard for them. I am not saying it wasn't hard for them, but that it doesn't excuse their actions one bit.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.